Let's talk about how your outbound numbers are being scored and why sometimes you're being marked as spam or scam or any other type of labels. Intermediate service providers use analytic engines to evaluate the intent and quality of your calls. Caller ID scoring analytics engines rely on algorithms that can be considered in many different factors, including call behaviors, call intent, and attestation ratings. Analytics engines don't establish stir shaken attestation ratings, but they can use them in their evaluations. The information from caller ID scoring analytic engines gets passed to terminating service providers, which can use that data to decide whether to block, redirect, or add a label to that call. How does analytic engines score calls? Analytic engines typically use an event based or content based analytics to evaluate calls. Each analytic engine uses a unique scoring system to help terminating service providers decide whether or not they should handle calls. Regardless of the scoring system, calls usually get flagged, labeled, or blocked when they exceed a specific score. Event based analytics focuses on call related data, such as the caller's behavior and information containing the call's session initiation protocol, or SIP messages. For example, algorithms may flag your calls because you're using the same number too many times. Stands out when the same number is placed 100 calls in just an hour, so analytic engines might assume you're breaking regulations. Unfortunately, just focusing on event based analytics can't really tell the difference between good robocalls or bad robocalls. Robocalls can easily place 100 calls within an hour, but that doesn't actually mean that everyone is dialing that quickly is actually breaking regulations. Because event based analytics can produce false negatives, you may need to adjust your dialing behaviors to avoid negative labels, flags, and number blocks. Now let's talk about content based analytics. Content based analytics produces more reliable results because the algorithms use analytic engines to review the contents of the call. For example, an algorithm can review what your agent says during a call to determine whether the person has unlawful or unethical intent. If your agent inaccurately says that they represent a bank, the analytics engine could look at the number's owner and see that it doesn't belong to a bank and flag the call. While content based analytics are usually a little bit more reliable than event based analytics, there's still room for misinterpretation and misjudgment. So, how do you redress blocked calls? When a service provider or a third party app blocks your call, you should be getting a block notification that uses these zip codes 603, 607, or 608. Each code has different meaning. 603 is a general code that tells you that the call doesn't want to be connected or who blocked the call. SIP 607 shows that a party chooses not to accept your call and the reason they rejected that call. An upstream intermediary rejected your call, providing a reason why, and gave you the contact information to remediate these issues. Ideally, your rejected calls generated 608 codes should tell you how to contact the responsible party and correct that mistake. You can still redress block calls that give you the 603 or the 607 error codes, but you really need to do a little bit more work. Don't assume that you need to contact a service provider to redress block numbers or calls. Companies often outsource this task to any other businesses. For example, AT&T uses Haya as its redressing organization. T-Mobile uses First Orion to manage the redress concerns. You can find a full list of service providers, their redress organizations, and the best way to contact that organization on a page in our description below. Caller ID scoring analytic engines help service providers provide customer experiences. However, even calls from legitimate businesses get blocked. Even content-based analytics, which works really well, can make mistakes. You can always redress block calls, but that's going to take time and effort. While your company reviews your appeal, you really shouldn't be using that number to reach additional customers and leads. Even worse, you might not notice that a number has received a negative score and has been blocked. If you continue to use that number, no wonder your customers aren't picking up that phone. Phone number reputation monitoring makes it easier for you to avoid blocks, flags, and labels. Follow ethical dialing practices will help you protect your numbers. Still, your numbers can get blocked from a simple error in dialing software. Proactively monitoring your numbers allow you to adjust the dialing behaviors to avoid negative responses. If a number starts to get hot from frequent dialing, you can just take it out of rotation until it cools off. In the meantime, you rely on other numbers to connect with your consumers. Caller ID reputation uses real time data, so you can use your phone number's reputation at any time. You even get screenshots from real mobile devices, so you don't have to wonder what customers see on their end. If a label, flag, or block concerns you, you can pull the number from the rotation and work towards improving its reputation. Thanks for watching this video, and my name is April Wong, and this video was created by Caller ID Reputation. Caller ID Reputation provides a comprehensive health monitoring of organizations that perform outbound phone calls and call connections. Monitor, manage, and mitigate your phone number's health reputation through Caller ID Rep. The offering makes Caller ID Reputation the only solution providing the last mile of the call flow, enabling enterprises control of how they are being displayed in the telephony channel. Caller ID Reputation scans outbound VoIP numbers to reveal anomalies such as flagging and CNAM inaccuracies, confirming attestation levels, proactively providing your brand integrity, and improving your call deliverability through a comprehensive aggregation of score data, encompassing all carriers, providers, and data aggregators out there. For more information, visit calleridreputation.com and don't let bad labels define your business.